Welcome everyone to another edition of Your Life, Your Voice. I'll welcome my co-host Lisa, and we have a special guest today, Thomas
Ooh.
Banks.
Uh,
Hi Lisa, hi Thomas, how you doing?
Yeah,
we I, I'm good.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So Thomas, Thomas is the managing director of Centre of Access. So it's his own business, I believe. So before we start, how about we do an acknowledgement of country? So I'll just set that up. So D&D would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in Victoria on which we work and live, and recognise their continuing connection to land, water and community. I pay respects to elders, past, present and emerging. And D&D would like to acknowledge our Indigenous brothers and sisters in the disability area, and we also acknowledge the mortality rate of our Indigenous brothers and sisters is well below the Western community, and we call for that to be better in the future. Okay, so I'll just get you guys back. Okay, so how about we start with asking Thomas some questions? Thomas has agreed to type his answers on Zoom, on the Zoom chat, and I think his story is really great to hear. So this channel was set up to show people with disabilities, or to showcase what can be achieved and done by people with disabilities. So, and Thomas is a great example of this. So, Thomas, welcome again. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Thomas?
So
Can you type
I
it out,
am
please?
one.
Can you type it out on
Hold
Zoom?
on. 1 minute.
Sure.
One minute.
Yeah, sure. Thomas. So this is take two because we had some technical issues last Wednesday. So this is take two, and Thomas knows all about take two because he's a showman. He's a showman at heart. So yes, so we are on take two. So Thomas is 30 years old and he runs a business and he's gay. So okay, so what sort of business do you run, Thomas?
I
Can you type
well,
it out, please?
sorry.
Can you type it out, please? We, 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 we want to make sure that people get a good idea of what you do because it's pretty amazing. It's pretty
Well,
fantastic. So And my co-host Lisa McLeish has a bit of hay fever today. So yeah, it's sort of like yeah. So yeah. So Thomas and I will do the heavy lifting, Lisa.
Oh no, that's all right. I could do some questions. It's just
Yeah, great.
be.
So Lisa has known Thomas for a long time, so she can sort of like give us a little bit of insight to the things they got up to, the naughty things they got up to.
Yeah. Well, Thomas and I known each other since I was 18.
Yeah.
Pretty valid. I was introduced to Thomas, and ever since then we've been like best friends. It's really good with Thomas because if we go shopping, he can tell me if it looks good on me or not. That's perfect to have as a gay friend because I can tell you what looks good on you.
Yeah, I heard they're good at fashion.
They are, aren't you, Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Thomas is so Thomas has declared he's semi-bi sometimes. Well, I know what bi is, but semi-bi. Come on, Thomas, are you just greedy? I think you're a bit greedy. You're gay and you're semi-bi. Okay, so Thomas has said, I run a training business called Centre for Access. So I go to a lot of businesses and organisations to teach them about how to communicate with people with disabilities. I don't do labels. I'm just who I am. That's really, really important, because we are not labels. We are people. So how did you set up the business, Thomas? Can you type it out, please?
While Tom's doing that, I've Tom gives me a lot of advice of one day I was getting bullied on the train and Thomas was giving me some advice of what to do, how to approach the school and stuff.
Okay.
So he does a lot of that stuff for me. Tom and I talk all the time. So if I'm having trouble with something, Tom's there to give me advice. And I'm there for Tom if something's going wrong as well. So it's like a really close friendship what we have.
Yeah, so everyone needs, support at different times of their life. And it's okay to ask for support from friends, from family, from services. So, yeah, and it doesn't matter, whether you consider yourself disabled or not. We all need support because we're all part of the human family. So we all need each other at different stages of life.
Yeah, so
that's great. It's great that you have Tom for support.
Yeah, when I started going to the conference, I had a staff member with me at all time. But then when I went by myself, Tom was always there. So if I needed someone, at least I knew there was Tom around. So if I went to him, if I had trouble, at least Tom would help me.
That's wonderful, guys. So Tom has answered the question. So how did you set up the business? Thomas said, and he comes across very, very clearly. So he said, I guess I love people. It was just natural. I spoke to a school when I was 19 years old and realised it was a way to make an income, which is very, very wise, Tom. So, and we like making incomes and, living life to your maximum. It's important that we follow our passions. And then if our passions lead to work, then hey, why not? Why not pursue it? So that's really important. So I thought I saw something else, but I did not. So and then it developed from there. I've always loved an audience. Hey Tom, I hadn't noticed. I hadn't noticed that you love the audience.
It's like he has his own one-man show, don't you, Tom?
Can you tell us a bit about that, Thomas? Can you type it out for us, please? About your one-man show?
So I've gone and seen the play. It's
Yep.
fantastic. It's all about how Tom grew up and stuff, and oh my god, it's amazing. He has a sellout crowd every time it's on.
Okay. So do you get mates race, Lisa?
No.
You don't get mates race.
No.
So
I leave it for nothing. I have to pay.
He's a bit of a tight ass, is he, Lisa?
He buys my lunch occasionally. I pay for everything, but that's okay because I get to when I'm in Geelong, Tom takes me around and do stuff. So
we've had discussions with Lisa. Lisa's pretty good with beating people down in prices, I believe. So I really admire that, Lisa. I think you helped your dad purchase his property.
Yeah, I did.
And you actually negotiated a really good price.
Yeah.
So you told me that you have Scottish blood in you. Well, McLeish, it has to be Scottish, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm Scottish, and my mum's maiden name was Lindsay, so a bit of Scottish. Two ends are Scottish, and my mum was part of England as well. So yeah, it was everything, all in one, virtually.
So you're good with money. That's really good.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. So so I spent 5 years developing a one-man show called Someone Like Thomas Banks, and then it toured around regional Victoria for 2.5 years. Wow, that's pretty good. Was your show shown in CBD Melbourne, Thomas? Yeah.
Thomas goes into whatever, if he can find a place to get really cheap, he sets his show up through that way.
Okay. So you have to really
hold money on a place because, like, usually last time when I went, I think there was about 20 to 30 of us in the room, and that's all they could fit in there.
Yeah, fair enough. So let's have a look at Tom's questions. Answers, I should say. So it premiered at 45 Down Street, and I'm pretty sure I've been to 45 Down Street a while ago. It's sort of like a place where emerging artists can showcase their thing. So I'll just move the chat out of the way. I can see your face. Yeah, so anyway, I'm pretty sure I've been there because I join groups and then we go out to different things. We go to see live theatre, live comedy. So yes, I'm pretty sure I've been there. So Thomas also performed at the open mic comedy nights, talking about chasing men, which is one of your favourite pastimes, Thomas. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of his favourite pastimes.
Yeah, not always you can catch him because he's usually with some guy or he's overseas. So Thomas is one of these people who doesn't take the support workers with him, even though my sister goes, I'll be his support worker and go overseas, and he won't let her.
Okay, so on the comedy night, he talks about chasing men. It's how I relapse because I love connecting with people, and I think you like making people laugh. Is that right, Thomas? I saw that in you the first time I met you. So anyway, I saw that you love connecting with people and you like to make people laugh. So can you tell us a little bit about your education? So were you educated in mainstream schools?
One minute.
Sure.
1 minute, Jody.
Yeah, we're very patient here. So we spoke about this earlier on. Thomas has been educated in mainstream education. Okay, so Thomas did up to Year 10 in mainstream school. He repeated Year 10 twice because they told me I was too social for VCE. So you're a party animal. So I ended up in a special school, which was all right at the beginning because it was social, but then it was demeaning. So yeah, that's a rather interesting perspective, Thomas. They made me do year 5 math because they wanted me to fit in a box. And you clearly have.
Then Tom, I went to special school and then I left special school when I was 16 and I went to mainstream.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you did it the other way, Lisa.
I was integrated into, well, my parents wanted me to be, try to be like my sister and brother, even though because of the disability, it doesn't really matter. But they wanted me to have a so-called normal life as well with them. So I've got, so I was integrated into primary schools, but I was always at special school. So, but when I turned 16, I left the special school and I was already integrated into high school and I went straight to high school through that way.
Okay, so Thomas sort of like did mainstream primary and secondary up until year 10, but you actually did it the other way. So you actually went to special school, and then you went to a mainstream school.
What is that for?
Quite interesting. They was trying to set up a thing for people with disabilities. So they asked my parents if I wanted to go to school and help them set it up, and I jumped at the idea because going to mainstream was like it gave me another opportunity in life.
I know people that are in the community of management with diversity disability, and they're much older than you guys. They went to YourLife Special School.
I went to their kinder.
Yeah, YourLife Special School, and D&D specific for the COLD community, and COLD just means people from other countries. So anyway, and children from people from other countries, even though that we are born, a lot of us are born in Australia. So they're a lot older than you guys. And one lady ended up Polish, and she had more than one language. So she went to URLR, but then she went out of URLR. I think she went into high school, but then she went into uni. She got in through the back door for university. But she was a bit like Thomas. She was a party animal. So she ended up doing a journalist degree. And another lady who does really well in disability area, she actually is from a COLD background. And so yeah, she did well also in her life, but she never went to a mainstream school. So I have a lot of examples where different generations really, where Urella has been are part of the education process. And yes, so that's really so Thomas, even though you probably could prove you can do like year 9 and year 10 level maths, that was pretty awful to deal with.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty awful, Thomas.
uh,
Look, change is really slow in this sector. So I'm just hoping that Urella or these organisations that have education actually recognise that people with disabilities have capacity and they should live their life according they should live their life to the maximum capacity, yeah? Just like everyone else in life. That's what I say. That's my motto. So anyway, the Thomas has said they made me do Year 5 maths because they wanted me to fit in a box. If I didn't go to the day program, I wouldn't have met the connections I've made with like Lisa. So that part was good. But they made me feel really dumb and stupid. You know,
Yeah, I agree with Tom because that's what my special school was like. Like Tom would agree. They try to put you in a box at special school. You got to fit in with everyone else. The only thing is I was standing out from everyone else. I'm like Tom, because Tom and I don't like doing what other people do. So I used to just do what I wanted to do, and then when I was integrated into my sister was in Year 7, so when she went to Year 8, I got a Year 7 maths book, and I was sitting there doing Year 7 maths because I was over the same maths, doing the same maths all the time.
Yeah, speaking about education, I've always been to a mainstream school. And one day the teachers woke up from bed. They must have had a bad dream, and they decided that I wasn't good enough. And anyway, so I'm cutting a long story really short. And I was 15 at the time, Tom. So I've always had an inner voice. Even today, I have an inner voice. So people tell me things, and my inner voice saying, you guys are speaking rubbish, right? I'm trying to keep it clean because it's going to be live on YouTube.
Oh.
I'm trying to keep it clean, Thomas, but I'm still quite upset about it. Even decades have gone by. I think so. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. This is my inner voice, yeah, my inner 50-year-old voice. And down the road, then finally they asked me, "What do you want to do with your life, Julie?" I told them what I wanted to do. It's going to go to TAFE. It's going to become a computer operator. They just looked at me, shaking their head like, "Oh yeah, you got no hope of doing that." That's what their non-verbal message was. And I just looked at them and I was absolutely disgusted. They made me even more determined to do what I wanted in life. And I did. I became a computer operator, worked for the public service. So for the people out there, these are just examples of what people go through. So I think that challenging the system is very important because people with health issues, I identify as having health issues, and people with disabilities, they have the right to live their own lives. And they know their capacity, they know what they're capable of. So leave them alone, let them lead their life with support from their individuals and their supporters. Might be family, might be friends. So let's see what Thomas has to say. Okay, so Thomas has told me before we started that he's on this gay app called Grindr, and he's further said that Grindr is dead at the moment. Not many guys on Grindr at the moment, Tom.
No,
No. How disappointing. I suppose you have to talk to Lisa a bit more then.
That's all good. He rings me occasionally and stuff, so we're in contact. Tom and I are planning when I can go see him next. We're going to go look for guys, aren't we, Tom?
yeah.
He's a busy boy. He's a busy man, Tom.
Oh, well, he is when he's working, so I have to work around his schedule.
Anyway, so according to Tom, Grindr was dying before the pandemic, but now it's really bad. Read all the messages. So is that a message to me, Tom?
Yes, that was a message
Uh-uh.
to you.
I think I have
No.
read all the messages.
No.
Okay, so I'll go back a bit. This is after your grade 5 math. So I haven't read this bit. So when he was at school, he rebelled against the system and went to Melbourne, to where he chased the men in gay saunas, which is sex on premise venue. So you're pretty full on, Tom. Oh yeah, lots of gay sex. Okay, fair enough. Whatever rocks your boat. Actually, whatever floats your boat. Is the same.
Ooh.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. So I think I read all the messages now.
No! No!
Have I missed more, Tom? I have missed more. I'll go back, Tom. I'll just see what I've missed. So you keep me on my toes. So I think I read the first bit. I read about your business, how you go about teaching.
Well, 1 minute. I will put it in.
Okay, put it in again. You're too fast for me, Tom.
I'm in now.
I was in the answer. Let's have a look. I'm just scrolling up. So, okay. So I missed the gay saunas. It's never easy to hook up and meet gays instead of 20 hours scrolling through the apps for hours and really shit when you don't get any responses. Well, Tom, that's not only gay people; it's also for straight people. So straight people are on apps too. I agree, it's really shit, Tom. But I must say, I've been having some hits lately, so that's good.
Woo!
Good, really. So you don't get any, like you feel like something is wrong with you and you feel unattractive. Well, I'm telling you now, it's not that there's things wrong with you. That's just life. You can't have everything in life. I know it's hard to believe, Tom, but I know you can't have everything in life. For you, like you have everything in life. So it's hard to believe. So can we talk a bit about your family? So can you talk about whether your family was supportive of you and your life?
There is another interesting fact with Tom. So 1 year, because my day service wasn't doing anything for people independent, whatever it was. I met Tom in the city with my sister. We decided to help each other walk, and I got my sister to take a photo of us. What was it? Helping handicap walk. We didn't get any terrible comments on it. We just got a lot of likes.
That's wonderful. And like I say to everyone, we all need support sometimes. So we're just talking about Thomas's family. So my family has always been very supportive. They were never treated me any differently. So yeah, so that's really, I think with people with disabilities, that's really critical to people with disabilities, that they're not treated any differently to anyone else in the family or community. And like I keep on saying, they live their life according to, this is why we call this channel Your Life, Your Voice, because you live your life according to what you want to do in life. So yeah, that's really great. So we chose the strong man I am today. So family attitudes. do you actually transfer to to the children? So yeah, I do agree. It does show that it's a testimony to your family and to your family, Tom, that you are the man you are today. So 2020 has been hard. I moved to Melbourne.
One minute.
Sure.
Tom's family lives on a farm.
I do. So what sort of farm? What do they
I've
do on
never
farm?
been there.
Okay.
He has, but apparently it's really not.
Oh yeah. It is his family. He has, yes.
Oh, his mum and dad are lovely.
Cool. So, Tom, so 2020 has been hard for Tom, for a lot of us. I moved to Melbourne. Where did you move from, Tom?
From Geelong.
From Geelong, which is something I've always wanted to do, but I didn't anticipate how much I missed them. So, Tom, Tom, that's fair enough. Tom, can you tell us what other things have you done in education?
Oh.
Can you type it out for us?
Ooh.
And show us your certificates. So type out what you've done in education.
And there is another way Tom does communicate if he's out in the public and it's so noisy. Tom will show you that soon because it's exciting. Because he uses it occasionally. A typewriter, what helps him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's amazing because you can put it at any voice you want.
You can put it at any what?
Voice.
Oh, voice. Okay.
Yeah. And when we go on, like, when we catch up and stuff, Tom came down to Paxton one day to meet me because he was coming back from something. I think it was in.
From rain.
Yeah. I know. You coming? We coming from the cafe, and you coming. Hey, come on, dear, let's go. And people are looking at us.
Anyway, so
we had Pakenham Street looking at us, and they're like, "What the hell?" And I'm going, "What are you looking at?"
I was like, come on up. We out to go.
Yeah, and people are staring at us, weren't they, Tom?
Okay. So Thomas, I think you're the only guy I met who met a man on a train and offered him I mean, that's a story in itself. That's a really good story, Tom. So, I think it's not that you're not bright. I think so you met a man, struck up a conversation. Thought you might have another partner, maybe, possibly, and instead of getting a partner, you got a scholarship. Is that how it worked, Tom? Yeah, is that how it worked out? So I did my certificate 3 in small business. So do you have a certificate for that? Do you want to show us? That's pretty cool to get a scholarship, though. I've never got a scholarship. So can you move? Okay, so sorry. Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, Thomas Patrick Banks. Certificate 4 in new small business. Well, that's really impressive. I've never received a scholarship. Never one. So that's really good. So moving on.
Tom talks himself into anything, don't you, Tom?
It was what? 35K. Oh my God, that's so cool. That's so cool, Tom. So yeah. So did you use part of that money for your small business to set it up?
No, because my business what already take up.
So your business is always set up. So that's
So,
very impressive, Tom.
But didn't Mum and Dad help you set that up, Tom? Your business?
no, it was all me.
It was all Thomas. So that's pretty impressive. Well, I'll tell you, I've tried to do things like that in the past. It's not like I failed. I consider the things I've done, even though they haven't worked out the way I thought they would. It's just a stepping stone in life, yeah. And I consider that maybe it wasn't meant to work out, and I moved on to other things in life. It did cost me a bit of money, but So yes, so that wasn't I wasn't really happy about that. But you know what? Knockbacks happen in life. It's how you respond to them that really determines the sort of character that you have. So Tom has typed out something for me. So his scholarship was worth 35K. So he saved up for an apartment in Richmond, which which I'm looking forward towards a long term goal. Are you saving up to buy an apartment, Tom?
Mm, yeah.
Tom, are you saving up to buy an apartment?
Uh, 1 minute.
Sure. So because there's no community housing in that part of Richmond I want to live, so I'd have to buy somewhere if I want to move there. Okay. So that's a really cool goal, Tom. And housing is really important, stable housing. So if you have your own place, it's very stable. So oh really? So Thomas has he said he's very specific. He wants to move to Bridge Road, which is a really great ambition. Yeah, do you know the costs around there, Tom?
Uh,
The rough costs?
So that means Tom has to stop going overseas to save up money.
So I went to around 450,000, that right? You know what? That's not too bad because a house in like the western suburbs, this is an apartment, yeah. The house in the western suburbs is around at the average is around 500,000, but that's a house. It's different to an apartment. But even so, that's where you want to live. It's not on par with living in the western suburbs. And look, let's face it, the western suburbs isn't really hip. It's not really a hip place for a guy like you to live. But you know what? It's a great goal. It's a great goal. It's a great long-term goal. But there you live in Footscray. It's getting better. Are you saying where you live is getting better? Where you're living?
no. 1 minute.
Sure. The area is becoming more hip and happening, but the men on grinder are weird. Okay, so yeah, I think Footscray has always been known as Footscray in general. So but there's weird men wherever I am. Yeah, well, you know what? It's part of the territory. So, foot training is known as a hip play. It's hipper than like St Albans. You know what I mean? There's more happening in St Albans. There are pubs and live bands. There's more happening in Fitzroy than in it's still part of the west suburbs. And it's close to the train station, so it's much more accessible, I think, than what St Albans is. Yeah. Okay. So how about we sort of like rambled on a lot, but it's good because there were lots of parts of Tom's life that I wasn't aware of. So that's great. How about we go back to our questions? So what inspired you to write a book about your life, Tom?
So in that book,
the book. Okay. Do you want to hold it up a bit? So, and move your hand so we can see the title. Through the eyes of a person with a disability, Tom Banks. Great photo. So, can you type out what inspired you to write a book about yourself? So the area is becoming more. Sorry, that's the other question. Yeah, so I wanted to make people understand. I wrote it when I was 14 years old, and it was published at 16. I wanted to show people what I could do. Okay, that's great. So so you wanted to break down the barriers. The barriers of people with disabilities. Okay. So okay, moving right along. So what is the hardest part of your disability to getting around in the community? Oh, sorry. Probably dealing with pain and exhaustion. That's fair enough. It takes so much energy to be out. Okay, so okay, that's fair enough too. Okay, so how do you cope traveling overseas with your disability? Apparently, you travel a lot interstate and overseas. You just do it. Do you take any support with you, Tom?
No
support.
Well,
Good to type it out. So you just love being independent, which is really important, and I totally agree there. So you just basically do your own thing, Thomas. Is that right? When you right, you do your own thing. You live life. You live life on your own terms. Yeah. which is fair enough. So, coming to the end of the interview, so what changes, Thomas, would you like to see happen for people with disabilities in the next 20 years? This is like a crystal ball question.
Woo! Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to see more people with disabilities in the mainstream workforce as CEOs and in senior leadership positions, because there is no people with disabilities in senior leadership roles, even within government departments like NDIA. Thomas, I totally agree there. Things are moving. They are moving very, very slowly for people with disabilities. And so Thomas, your insights have been really wonderful. I'm actually glad we had technical issues because we got to see you again, and we got to get lots of information from you in an accessible format. So, Thomas Banks, Centre for Access Managing Director for Centre for Access, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you so much.
I must say, you are. I try to avoid inspiration. Have you heard of inspirational porn? I don't want to. Part of inspirational porn, it's like people with disabilities. It's said in our community have to be extraordinary in life, and people can't be ordinary. They have to be extraordinary, which is really unfair. So I try to stay away from words like your inspiration, because it's sort of like paints people with disabilities as something to be stared at, and that's what I don't want to happen in society. People with disabilities should be given the opportunity to live their life their way. And with this channel, Your Life, Your Voice, and with the D&D philosophy, that's what we aim for. So thank you very much, Thomas, for your insights.
Yes,
Thomas.
When I was to see people.
Yeah, okay. I know, but let me get over this hay fever first, okay? I'm not coming to see you when I've got hay fever, because everything sets my hay fever off at the moment. So I'm going to stay home and get rid of hay fever.
Guys, we're on live on YouTube still. Yeah, Thomas. Yes, you like being an exhibitionist, I know. So You can hang around, Thomas, if you wish, but we have some formal things to do as part of the channel. But if you wish, you can like hang around, but yeah, I'll leave it up to you. So anyway, we've got some.
Bye, everyone.
Hi, Thomas. I'll catch you. We have to meet up for a drink down the road.
Ooh.
Okay. Catch you later. Bye. Bye. Catch you. Bye.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah. So thanks, Lisa, for suggesting Thomas as our free interview. It was really great. So we have to do some official stuff now. So I'd like to do. I'd like to give people some information. So let's have a look. I'll just try and set it up. Let's have a look. Oh. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, something really important for people with disabilities. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. So people with disabilities have access to free masks because it's been recognised by, by all levels of government that people with disabilities have are the economically disadvantaged. So free face masks can be given to you. You can access them from your service provider. Yes, so the initiative is for agencies that deliver services to Victoria who are vulnerable and are unable to afford or resource their own face masks. Victorians who have chronic and complex conditions that increase their risk of infection, Aboriginal Victorians, people living in high density housing arrangements like residential facilities or public housing, and people with disabilities or mental health issues. Carers of vulnerable Victorians, such as those with mental health illnesses or disabilities, are also eligible for free face masks. So face masks will be available through organisations that deliver services to vulnerable Victorians, and so that's cool. So you can order through your organisation that you deal with, through your support coordination, and your usual people that you deal with. Also, I'll show people how to access. So if you can find out what the restrictions are, what you do, you just Google. 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 I'm on Google now. The search engine. It's like type in Victoria restrictions. It's like do a Google search, and it tells you the restrictions. So let's have a look. They used to like choose the link. So it's a way for people with disabilities to find information out. And look, if there are any issues with accessing information, you can always ask your support coordinator, maybe a friend, or people you associate with. Okay, so what else do I have to show you guys? Let's have a look. So that's probably the two things I need to show you. So now we're going to do some acknowledgements of our funding bodies now. So let's have a look at that. So we'll just do the acknowledgements and then we're done. So DD would like to thank the Micro Resource Centre Management for their support they give to the D&D Your Life, Your Voice project. This YouTube channel is funded by the Victorian DHHS and Moreland City Council. D&D would like to thank them for providing funding to this progressive, out-of-the-box project, especially living in these trying times of a pandemic. COVID-19 has been particularly difficult for people with disabilities being in isolation, and this channel is for them too. And then so we've already provided information, but yeah, we'll keep on delivering to find information that's relevant to people living with disabilities living with COVID-19. We'd like to thank our guest speaker for today. And this project would like your ideas on what NUS topics and guest speakers you would like Your Life, Your Voice to explore. Please feel free to email us on dndyourlifeyourvoice@gmail.com. And thank you for listening to us. I'll just see sorry about that. I keep on hitting the wrong buttons today. I'll delete it. Anyway, so Lisa, thank you, Lisa, for making time for us today. And so this is the end of another session of Your Life, Your Voice, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. But thank you very much for tuning in, and don't forget we're on demand. So we're on demand, Google, YouTube, Your Life, Your Voice, and we hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you.